Wonder if this will be real someday. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 9 of the Showerpodcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and today we're going to talk about something that's a bit more technical, or at least it resides a bit on my, let's say, technical background. And it's strictly connected to something that I just finished watching, that being the announcement that NVIDIA made regarding its new AI features. And it will be a combination of that and also some TV show that many of you might or might not know. That is Black Mirror. Specifically, the episode about simulations. And even more specifically, dating simulations. Let me give you a wrap up of what I just saw and then share my take and also challenge you, the listener. So they just showed this model that they will be using for improving and helping everything that is the training of robots by creating virtual simulations of their real, let's say, scenarios of use, being a warehouse, a street, or whatever is the environment in which the robot will have to work in. And before deploying it to the real world, this, let's say, robot will have the chance of training in a plethora, millions and millions and millions of real case scenarios, which are, though, simulated in a, let's say, invented world. And I say invented because all the surroundings and all the data that is fed to this robot, to this virtual robot, it's going to be AI generated. And this is, again, fantastic in one way because it really achieves something that a few years ago was absolutely implausible, and that being the capacity of building tailored and very efficient data in a quantity that is beyond what we could ever imagine in order to achieve exactly the results that one is looking for. So you are able to do a batch of examples, have a benchmark on each and every one of them, and decide then what to implement in the real world. And this is nice, fantastic, it's efficient, for industry it's nice, you save money, you are more efficient, everything that, again, goes into that special world. But what if this hit way close to home? What if this simulation started being about your dating life? What about if me, let's say, I would create my digital avatar that has my taste, that knows what I like, that knows what I do, that knows my hobbies, and you create your digital avatar that knows what he likes, what he does, how he looks, and then you have them run simulations. So today I encounter person X, the day after person Y, and I say this day and that day for the, let's say, this virtual candidate that will be uploaded representing me. But for me, it might be, I don't know, a matter of 2 hours, 3 hours. And in 3 hours, I might know who is the perfect candidate for me because all the simulations and all the choices that I could have ever made in a life were made for me. And now I ask you, is this something desirable? Is this something that we would want to have? And there are two reactions, I think, that are natural. The first is excitement, and a lot of people might be on it because they say, okay, that will grant me, let's say, just a very efficient way of understanding who might be the person for me, so why not? On the other hand, you might have fear, saying, this is a bit too strange and I don't trust it. And my take is a bit in the middle, because Even though it is true that synthetically we would be able to find the perfect candidate for what it is now that we understand of, let's say, simulating a person, you would be able to do it at that specific time. So the moment that you created that avatar, it's, let's say, what you want. But what about in 1 month? What about in 6 months? What about in 1 year? Will you constantly do that because in a few months stuff won't work? And let me ask you something else. Will you be able to replicate all the flaws that you have? Will you be able to simulate all the things that you do right and wrong? And most importantly, is that something that you would like to know about your potential partner? Or is it something that it would be worth to discover once the AI has made its selection for you? And I don't think we have, of course, there is no answer here. But it's always something that, you see it and you say, my God, it's something so impossible. And then you see this, and if you have a bit of a background in this, you say, well, if you give a team enough money and enough time, which is not more than 5 years, imagine just Tinder or all the other dating apps. They have so much data and they have already so many potential customers that would be happy to do that. Like, imagine if you could scout all the people around you and know exactly who to pick. That would be insane, but at the same time scary, because there is also to consider this other alternative. They choose somebody, you are happy with that, and you go for it. But then reality hits, real life hits, stuff that couldn't be predicted happens, and you are left with what? Your second chance? Your second best choice? Will people be able to live off with that? To know that what, let's say, theoretically was the best choice for them didn't work out and wasn't what they were supposed to have? Is that something that you would be willing to live off with? And again, you should also, and to wrap up because shower time is over, or it will be over soon, you have to think that maybe about yourself you feel good. For example, this hits me relatively low. Like, I'm happy with myself, with who I am. But what about more sensible people? What about people that don't have such a high self-esteem? Will we be able to build off on that once, with a click, you'll be able to know ins and outs of yourself and everybody around you? It's something very special. We are not so far from a simulation that is a bit too good to be true. And I don't know if we will be able to stick with the standard, boring, and real life. This was episode 9 of the Shower Podcast. And, well, see you at the next one.